Welcome to The Abundance Journey, the show that helps spiritual entrepreneurs create an abundance mindset that accelerates revenue. Secretly, everything you experience in your life is actually abundance. Once you understand how to activate abundance, you find yourself in flow with your business and clients, so it's easy to create the revenue you want. The Abundance Journey is the only show that activates abundance for you, so you enjoy rapid results in your business. Here's your host, the Abundance Ambassador, Elaine Starling.
Have you ever considered that your relationship with your body is actually a form of abundance? Yeah, I know. A lot of people talk about mind, body, spirit, but what does that really mean? Because your body is this incredible connection that you have. It's a home for your spirit. But if your mind is continually belittling your body, or if your mind drives you to take actions that don't support your health, you might actually be damaging your connection to spirit. I know, that's a really strong statement. I'm putting a stake in the ground here because what I'm saying is that how you treat your body is representative of how you treat your spirit. There is a truly profound connection between spiritual alignment and body alignment. And the connector is mindset. Now, I'm incredibly lucky because I get to meet the most fascinating experts on the planet. And I found somebody who's a real guru at the whole mind-body connection. That's why I am really delighted to chat with Kate Galli today. Kate is a master personal trainer, a life coach, an NLP practitioner, and she's certified in plant-based nutrition. Now, she first got into fitness as a way to transform her own body and build her own confidence. Now, for over 18 years, Kate has been helping thousands of individuals sculpt a body and a life that they love. I love her intention because Kate's really passionate about helping her clients create the mindset that makes your best eating and exercise choices simple and sustainable. It's not rocket science. Really, truly, she feels that your health is a matter of reprogramming the way you think to support the redesigning of your body. And there's one common element necessary for you to be successful in your physical transformation. It's the right mindset. Kate knows that once you prove to yourself that you can do it, the confidence, the self-belief, the certainty that this gives you is absolutely priceless, and you can immediately transfer it into every other area of your life. Isn't that brilliant? Kate, welcome to the Abundance Journey.
Elaine, thank you so much, and thank you for such a fabulous introduction. I really appreciate it.
Well, I love what you're doing because it is so profound and it's so obvious, but it's like we're staring it right in the face and we just don't see what's happening, even though we're living in these bodies day to day, right? And we forget. We forget about that spiritual connection and the body connection that's a big part of that. So, yeah, I'm thrilled to chat with you today.
Absolutely. Sometimes we make it so much tougher than we need to. And I'm all about simple, sustainable fun. And I will say abundance.
I know you are. That's why I'm thrilled to have you here. Now, before we get into it, because I could just jump right in, there's so much meat and juice and wonderful things that you have to share with us. Here I am making food analogies. Shame on me. I want us to start by breathing together 3 times. And as we breathe in through the nose, we think the words I am. And as we breathe out through the mouth, we think the word consciousness. And then I'm going to read our intention and invite everyone to hold that intention with us for 78 seconds. Now, the reason for this is because the human mind now has a shorter attention span than a goldfish. Yeah, goldfish forgets everything every 8 seconds. So in order for the divine to really latch into this higher vibration that you want to have, where you want to own the relationship you have with your body and love your body completely, you need to hold that for 78 seconds. So pick 2 or 3 words out of the intention that just sound elevating, uplifting, expansive, high vibration to you, and think them over and over again. And then notice what happens with your body. You might get goosebumps, or you feel more expansive, like your molecules are enlarging and expanding. Beautiful. All that means is that the divine has locked in on your vibration and you are already receiving the benefits of that intention. How could it get even better than this? Yeah. Okay, so let's breathe together 3 times. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. In love and light, we hold the intention that we deliberately choose thoughts and actions that demonstrate and celebrate the divine love we have for our bodies. Thank you, divine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done. We give thanks, and so it is. Wow, that was interesting. What was your experience like, Kate?
I just love the space when you get to focus purely on your breathing. And I was focusing on compassion and open-heartedness. And yeah, it's such a simple yet powerful practice.
Yeah, it was really interesting to me because my heartbeat suddenly was just really getting my attention. And that whole connection, and especially with breath, like you said, breath, that inspiration, that is definitely related to spirituality and being inspired by spirit. So feeling that breath come in and that strong heartbeat, just saying, yes, my body is here and it's part of the game. It's like, wow, I really felt that.
It's funny you mentioned your heartbeat. I was aware of mine as well, and hoping it wasn't like bouncing down the mic to everyone else. But yeah, funny you say it.
And it's really interesting because I love having us breathe together. When we do that, we sync up our consciousness together, yours, mine, and everyone listening or watching. We also sync up with the God of our understanding. And through that connection, we honor the intention and everything just flows perfectly. I mean, it's really spectacular how this shows up. I have so many questions for you. It's hard to know where to start, but obviously you're really, really passionate about this and you get how important that mindset thing really is. Why is this like the crux of what you're after? Why is this so important to share?
I guess because it's the most effective approach, right? I am madly passionate about health and fitness. And over the past couple of decades, nearly, I've seen that it isn't the flashiest program or the best gym or the flashiest personal trainer. That is not what gets results for my clients. Actually, laying the foundation via all the mindset strategies we need to learn and perhaps unlearn some of the less effective strategies or ways that we've been thinking. That's what gets results, and that's what makes those results sustainable and aligned with both your values and the life you want to live. And also, that's what makes the journey enjoyable and fun. And as I mentioned, I am all about the enjoyable and the fun.
That's so important. Important. I make up my own words now. It's so important because so often we think that taking care of our physical bodies is going to be a hardship. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be incredibly time consuming. It's going to be a drag. It's going to be a slog. It's going to be hard. And yet that's all stories that we are making up in our minds.
100%. And to be clear, that was my mindset early days as well. You know, I was all about restriction with the food and punishment with the exercise, and many of the, I guess, ways of approaching it that I see clients struggle with early days now. You know, and I learned that that wasn't effective. It was a constant battle. We need to get great at seeing ourselves and our body as a team. We're on the same team. We're in it together. It's about that supportive mindset and that kind, nurturing attitude that we bring towards our bodies.
I love what you're saying. And I want to share a really quick story because I think it really ties into what you're talking about. I was in a parking lot driving my husband's truck. It's a massive thing. And I'm trying to back out of this parking space. And I'm always a little anxious because it's big and I don't want to run into anything. So I'm going really, really, really slowly backing out of this space, and out of the corner of my eye, I see someone just flying really fast through this parking lot. And I'm thinking, wow, that is not safe. And all of a sudden, somebody behind me honked. And I jumped a mile and I got immediately pissed off. I was convinced they were honking at me. I don't know if they were or not. I didn't turn to look. And immediately I heard the divine going, wait a minute, you're making up this story that there's something wrong with the situation. You're pretending that this is not a blessing for you. What if having somebody honk right behind you actually was a blessing? What would that look like? And I had to think about it because it didn't come to mind, but I realized, well, maybe it was about to hit something. And that would have been bad news. I mean, who wants to have to pay a bunch of money to get your car fixed and wait for it to get towed and the extra insurance costs? I mean, yeah, not having an accident is actually a big blessing. And then I also thought, well, you know, if they did honk at me, this person had a completely different perspective on where I was in the space that I had. And I thought I still needed to keep backing out, but once they honked, I cranked on that wheel and I made it out of that parking space. So maybe it was more like a thumbs up. It's okay, you've got this kind of thing. And they didn't have time to jump out, run around and knock on my window to let me know. And then the real message came through. The divine was letting me know that the stories I make up block the blessings that I say I want. So when I make up the story that, oh, this walk this morning with my friend is going to be difficult, or I really don't want to do that stretching. It's such a hassle. It's an extra 5 minutes I'll never get back. What story am I making up? And is it truly aligned with what I want in my life? You have a quote that I absolutely adored, and I'm trying to find it. You said something about discipline.
One of them is, I guess, discipline's the difference. It's a focus on what you want now versus what you want most, you know,
Yes.
A little bit of short-term discipline and delayed gratification, possibly that quote.
Yes, absolutely. What you want now versus what you want most.
Yeah.
And that is so powerful. That's so powerful. So, Kate, could you, obviously the name of the show is The Abundance Journey, and I've never had two people define abundance exactly the same way. Given the kind of work that you do, where you really help people adopt an effective mindset for wonderful health and well-being, how would you define abundance?
For me, it's a fine balance between that appreciation of and focus on the present moment and what we're most grateful for in the present moment, the small things, which really are the big things, so we learn. It's that And yet also abundance for me is having the freedom of time and energy, and also the passion and ability to be able to pursue our really huge goals and visions. So I want both, and it's a constant negotiation between that, the now, the journey, the present, and also working towards those really huge, compelling things that if those of us that have those huge goals, we're lucky. I'm so grateful to have them.
Absolutely. And it's so important to break that down into bite-sized pieces. And that's what I love about what you're saying about being grateful for the present moment. I can be grateful that I am outside and I am taking my walk and I am doing things for my health. I am remembering to drink my water. It doesn't have to be I've lost 20 pounds, because sadly, I don't know about you, but I don't have a magic wand. My little sparkly thing is the closest I can get to a magic wand. It doesn't do much good, but paying attention to those little actions, those little behaviors that help you get in the right direction, that makes all the difference in the world.
Completely agree. And I'm a huge fan of more action-based goals because, as you say, we don't have a magic wand. The right actions will get you the results, however, not in the time frame that you expect. So to stay motivated and not be disappointed by the fact that you had an amazing weekend, food and exercise wise, and the scale stayed the same or even went up, I don't want my clients to be disappointed by that and have a stop-start approach. I want them to focus on their wins every single day, and taking the right actions, they are a win. If you got up at the time you planned to get up, if you planned your meals, if you got 30 minutes exercise, all wins whether you see the results yet or not. And reframing or seeing them as wins are going to make it so much easier for you to take those effective actions tomorrow as well.
That is so true. And it's really interesting to me. One of the things that I do is not only do I weigh myself, I also take measurements and I track my measurements, because there are many times when the scale stalls, but my body shape changes, or vice versa. And it's kind of like abundance. Abundance shows up in so many different ways. When we feel abundant, when we feel excited, that grateful curiosity that we don't know what's next, we just know we're capable enough and resourceful enough to handle it, and we're going to have fun. Some awesome resources and connections and discoveries are here to be made. When you can have that kind of mindset, it just changes everything. Now, you've worked with thousands of people, so I'm sure over the years you've seen some kind of common symptoms that people have, and it might be more than wanting to get in shape. What have you noticed your clients are struggling with before they start working with you?
A huge problem is focusing on what isn't working. I'm such a fan of the power of our focus to either make it so much easier for us or make the whole process constantly struggle street, which we don't want. So a mistake is focusing on what isn't working, focusing on restriction with their food, focusing on punishment with their exercise. I'm a huge fan of the reframe. I get to train versus I have to train. Training is precious me time versus, something hateful that you must do. Our language is so very important. Often people come to a personal trainer or a health coach and they're all about the actions. They're all about, tell me what I need to eat. Tell me how I need to move. I can tell them all of that for sure. However, so much more important is the mindset component as it lays the foundation for your future success. So stuff like defining your goal and the huge emotional intensity behind your goal, stuff like aligning that goal with your most important values and beliefs. Yeah, it's a bit of work up front. However, this is the work that you turn to when it gets inconvenient, when you're the odd one out going to the gym early or ordering differently at the restaurant. These are the foundational strategies that you will turn to year after year. And I guess so they're some of the mistakes that people make.
I want to harken back to something that you said about language and how important language is, because I had a very similar situation. And I just want to illustrate just how powerful what you're talking about, but slightly different perspective. I was really blessed on New Year's Day 2005 to have a stroke. And I always say blessed because during my stroke, I got to have a conversation with our higher power, and I got a complete download about how everything works. I mean, it was an incredible experience. And I came out of it with no damage at all, just instructions to share what I'd learned. And during this experience, I have never felt such intense, all-encompassing love in my life. And I'm blessed to have an incredible relationship with my husband and my family, but this was different. This was amazing. And I came out of the stroke and I'm like, oh my gosh, I like that a lot. I want that on tap. How do I turn that on anytime I want? Like all the time would be good. Hold the stroke. Don't need that part. And it was really interesting because all the research I did, it said, well, you just have to allow. You have to allow that divine connection. You have to allow the downloads to come through. You just have to allow it. And so I would meditate and do my journaling. And sure, some things would come through every once in a while. It wasn't constant. It was a lot closer to a leaky watering can than Niagara Falls, the all-encompassing love. But finally, one day I was just really exasperated. I was writing in my journal after meditating. I'm like, why isn't this allowing thing working for me? And I got this message back. What is the image that comes to mind when you think of the word allow? Now, I never put my experience on anybody else because everybody has a unique relationship with the words that they use. I just want to use this for illustrative purposes. So I realized when I think of the word allow, I immediately saw myself behind a door with a chain on the door, and I'm peeking out the door at the divine, and I'm freaking terrified because I don't know what's coming. I don't know how to control it. I don't know what's next. And I suddenly realized, oh, for me, the word allow is a mind-based word, and my mind wants cause and effect, logical steps, consistent results. A guarantee would be really nice. And that's not the kind of relationship I can have with the divine. So obviously that's not the right word for me. And I had to think about it, and it took me a long time to figure it out. But I finally realized that my word is welcome. I welcome the divine. I welcome dynamic, wonderful conversations with brilliant people like you, because I don't know what's coming and I don't have to know. I can take that door off the hinges and toss it and just welcome the blessings that are there for me. The same kind of thing is true when it comes to how you think about your body. Are you welcoming your body and welcoming that joyous connection, that collaborative conversation that you're having between your body and the divine and your mindset, or not?
I love that story. So far as your body, I often talk about the best body mindset as opposed to the beat body mindset. It's not about beating our body into submission and forcing stuff on our body. It's about having our body's best interests at heart, like both now in the moment, but also long-term, sustainably. And that's something I coach my clients towards.
It can be very challenging when you want to get in better shape and you want to really take care of this beautiful spiritual temple that you're wearing and living from. I've always found that when I want my world to change, even my body to change, there is a mental shift that has to happen. Something has to happen internally. So I start thinking about it differently. I start experiencing it differently. What have you noticed is that internal shift people have to be willing to make?
I think a lot of it comes down to identity beliefs, and identity beliefs are what comes after I am. So as you're listening, if you're thinking in relation to food or exercise, I am a person who is a natural couch potato, who hates exercise, who is naturally soft and flabby, whatever words you use. Or I am a person who just loves comfort food and hates meal prep, whatever it may be. Have a look at those identity beliefs that come up for you in relation to a goal that you're not yet achieving, and think of how you could reframe them to not be fake, to still be aligned with you and the person that you are, but also to be more supportive of the person that you want to become. Because I realized once I had the identity belief of I am a person who will do whatever it takes to rock around in a fit, strong, healthy body. And I will say that body wasn't just about me. It was about advocating for the lifestyle. It wasn't just about, a body that I felt confident in. It was about having integrity as a trainer for my clients. And also, as a vegan health coach, it was about advocating for the animals by the way my body looked and functioned. So there was a whole lot more to it. However, absolutely working on those identity beliefs about yourself, ensuring that they're supportive. And I will say, if it feels a little bit manufactured or fake at first, still stick with it. Persist, and as you take those daily actions that are in alignment with that new identity belief, it will start to feel more real and more congruent. And make that action small. Don't aim to lift weights for an hour a day. Aim to do 5 minutes worth of body weights moves a day if that's where you need to start to become that person whose actions are aligned with that belief that you want to create about yourself.
I love that. I love that. And I can really see myself saying, I am making progress on my health. I am learning what works for me. And I am goals are incredibly powerful. They really are. It was interesting. I read a book called A Happy Pocket Full of Money. It's a great book, A Happy Pocket Full of Money. And in the book, the author's talking about I am goals are incredibly powerful and you want to use them all the time. And I was like, wow, this is great. I love it. I get it. I just wish there was an example in my own life that I could look at where I used it and it actually worked. And then the divine gave me this blinding flash of the obvious. And I was reminded of a conversation that I've had many times with my husband and also when we were dating, boyfriend and girlfriend. And it sounded something like, honey, I am so happy and grateful that I get to share life with you. I am just blessed that you don't see the world the way I do. Because when I can hear you, being with you expands my world. I am so enriched and joyful. I love you more every day. I am so happy and grateful that we're sharing this life together. And we've been having that conversation for 44 years.
Amazing.
Yeah. How can it get even better than this? I am goals work, especially when you start with, I am so happy and grateful that. Mm-hmm. And you celebrate in advance. Celebrating in advance is not inauthentic. It's admitting that maybe you're not where you want to be in terms of your weight goal, but I am so happy and grateful that I'm taking care of my body. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy and grateful that I am committed to a plan of action that serves me. And all of that helps build to your confidence.
100%. And I would go even further and say, take time each day and write down 3 of the things that you did fabulously. I write down 3 reference points for success after my 3 gratitudes every single day. And then also to focus my mind on the positives for tomorrow, I write down 3 things that would make tomorrow fabulous, because that's the way that I want to think, particularly before I go to bed. I want my mind to be focusing on, hey, what might be really super amazing about tomorrow?
I love that. I love that because I often tell people to celebrate in advance, and that's what you're doing. You're identifying 3 things for tomorrow and you're celebrating them in advance. You're feeling that energy in advance. I can't tell you how many times I will write down that I want to hear from 2 mentors on something that I'm working on. And later that day, I'll be in the grocery store, in line for coffee. Total strangers are in front of me and they're having a conversation about something I don't know. I don't really know what they're talking about, but something they say sparks the idea in me, and they were my mentors. It doesn't have to show up in a set way. We can be open and receptive to abundance in all forms.
Completely agree.
Well, you are such a genius at this, and you've worked with so many different people. we talked about the magic wand, and sadly it's not here, but there are some baby steps that we can do to get us going in the right direction. What would you recommend, Kate?
I think a really good start is, again, the jotting down how you want it to be every single day. That is fantastic. If there's something that you've been struggling with for a while, perhaps lower the bar to raise your chance of success. You know, if you've been setting the bar too high in some regard, then it can be super valuable to just start as low as what, you know, is going to move you just a tiny little inch, because again, that's proving to yourself that I am a person who takes this action, who prioritizes that action. I'm super keen on planning your day to come the night before. If you've struggled with achieving something, take, say, your top 3 tasks, prioritize them, put time next to them in terms of the time that you want to spend on a task, not the time that you want to start the task, because, you know, life gets in the way. You wake up and some drama's happening and that 6 a.m. gym session isn't happening. But as long as it's number 1 on your list and it happens at that first opportune moment in the day, you know, then that's going to be a win. I would also strongly advise focusing on how you want to feel at the end of the day. I want to make myself proud. That's what I always tell myself during the day. If there's something I'm struggling with a little bit, I think of how do I want to feel at the end of the day when I get into bed? And I want to feel proud of me. Again, it's coming back to that relationship that you have with your body. And I find that's really, really powerful. If that doesn't resonate with you, perhaps it's more along the lines of what you want to represent or the lifestyle that you want to showcase to the other people that you love most. So who am the person that I am being, that I am showing up to for my kids, for example. Choose whatever is compelling for you. And I guess that just sidetracks me just a little bit, where I want to share that if this isn't coming naturally and easily for you yet, if you've never had that health, if you can't look back to a point in your life in your 20s or teens or whatever it was where your health was optimal, if you can't imagine that, seek out the mentor or the individual to model that has the results that you're seeking. And also, so much more importantly, has the lifestyle, takes the actions to get those results that could fit into your lifestyle, right? So, you know, I'm not your model if you don't want to get up at 4 a.m. 6 days a week and go to the gym 4 days a week and eat whole food, plant-based, and perhaps you're, 70 and I'm 47. Find the model whose lifestyle and whose life situation can be and will be aligned with yours, because that's a much more satisfying and effective person to model.
Oh, man, I love all of this. You have just shared so many brilliant ideas and strategies with us. You also very generously offered us an incredible free gift. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So the Plant Positive Journal is a book I wrote a couple of years ago. And, it's my little vegan Trojan horse, I guess. It's planting positive seeds all around the world about how to live a healthy, sustainable, plant-based lifestyle. However, it doesn't have to be about the plant-based. It's also the time management tool that I use every single day to plan my day to come, to list my gratitudes, reference points for success, 3 things that would make tomorrow fabulous, space for all of that. Because it's such a beautiful beast, it weighs nearly 1 kilo. I've posted many to the US, however, there's now a PDF version as well. And so I'm giving away the month 1 of the PDFs. It's got some abundant, delicious recipes. It also walks you through defining your goal, your values, your beliefs. So there's some of the strategies that we talked about that lay the foundation for your future success. So that is the gift that I'm giving away.
That's really powerful, Kate. I can't thank you enough for that. I'm definitely going to be downloading that and filling it out today. Brilliant. Amazing. Brilliant. I love it. Now, one of the things that we always do here at the Abundance Journey is we always turn the tables on our guests, because we know that when we give is when we truly receive the most. So what can we do to support you?
That is an amazing, kind question. Thank you so much, Elaine. My Heart is my podcast, the Healthification podcast, where I get to interview passionate and compassionate authors, actors, athletes, activists, doctors, and entrepreneurs. As I said, it's my heart. It's called Healthification. If any of the listeners would be so kind as to check it out with an open heart and an open mind, there's such a diverse range of guests there. That would make my day, because as I said, it's a passion project and very dear to my heart.
Absolutely. I will definitely give it a listen. I can't wait. I love that you've got such a wide variety of people, because health is about much more than body health. You are talking about mental health at the same time, and how we view our bodies, the relationship that we have with our bodies. So I know, given just the tidbits that you shared today, your podcast is bound to be absolutely outstanding, and I can't wait to listen to it.
Thank you so much.
You've left me with quite a dilemma, because you shared so many brilliant tips and techniques and ideas and thoughts. I have to do the Activate Abundance segment next, and I'm scratching my head to just pick one thing. This is going to be really tough. Thanks a lot.
Amazing. Happy to help.
Oh, man. Kate, thank you so much for joining us today.
Elaine, this has been so much fun. My huge pleasure. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right. Stick around. We're going to activate abundance in just a moment. Hi, it's Elaine Starling, the Abundance Ambassador, and I know since you're listening to this show or watching this show, The Abundance Journey, you really want to experience more abundance in your life. Well, that's why I wrote the book, 5 Steps to Activate Your Abundance. It's available for sale right now from Amazon, from barnesandnoble.com, and many international sellers. And I want you to pick up a copy, because I'm really opening the kimono here and sharing all of the information you need to experience abundance in every single aspect of your life. The book's divided into 3 parts. Part 1 is called Meeting the Divine. This is where I share my near-death experience and the conversation I got to have with our higher power during my stroke. In Part 2, Messages from the Divine, I share the best practices that I was given, the secret sauce in how life actually works. And so you understand really why you're here and how you can make the most of your life, so you love every single moment. And then in the Part 3 is Partnering with the Divine. That's where I go into each of the 5 steps to activate your abundance and explain exactly why it works so well. So take a moment to pick up a copy. It's available as an ebook, a paperback book, an audiobook, and a video course. So however you like to absorb information, abundance is waiting for you. Isn't Kate Galli amazing? This chick knows her stuff. She's been at it for a while, and she's really mastered that mind-body connection, so that your mind is supporting your body as an advocate for your body. And when that happens, you have a better spiritual connection at the same time. You don't have to take my word for it. Try this. You'll be amazed at the shifts that happen in your life. Step 1 is gratitude. And I'm incredibly grateful to Kate for all the ideas that she shared with us. It was really tough for me to pick just one thing, but I'm going to acknowledge step 2, acknowledge something you heard that was an aha for you. And this is something that I truly believe, and I am a big advocate. The biggest mistake we often make is focusing on what is not working in our lives. What we do not want, what we do not like. And the problem is that attention that we have, that is what directs our spiritual power. And whatever we put our attention on is telling the divine, give me more of this. So when you're putting your attention on, I don't like my body, and I'm really unhappy with how I look, and I feel lousy right now, the divine thinks, oh, that's what you're putting all your attention on, so we're going to give you more of that. Big mistake. Big mistake, especially when we wrap our identity into that. I'm the kind of person who can only focus on the things that are not working in my life. No, that's a choice that we make. So, step 3, appreciate the difference it can make in your life. When instead of focusing on what is not working, focus on what is working in your life. And I had a really interesting experience. I was doing the 7-day mental diet, which is where you try to block off all negative thoughts, all negative exposure to media, anything that could take you down to the dark side and get you focused on what is not working in your life. And I kept getting shown, natural disasters and conflicts and arguments that people were having. And finally, I'm like, Divine, why do you keep showing me this stuff? I don't want this stuff. I'm trying to be positive. And I got this message, darling, we're trying to get you to focus energy where it needs to go. You don't have to take on the emotions that those people have or what they're going through. You can send them love and blessings. How do you think it gets to them in the first place? We're counting on you to direct that energy where it needs to go. This isn't about you. This is through you. Don't hang on to the bad stuff. Let it go and send love and blessings. It was a really profound moment for me because when I started doing that, everything shifted. Everything. As soon as I start to kind of go to the dark side and start to beat myself up, I say, no. I'm sending love and blessings for this wonderful body that I get to have, this incredibly strong, capable, resourceful, resilient body. And it continually renews itself every day. I'm so happy and grateful. Did you notice I'm bringing the I am so happy and grateful thing too? Yeah. I'm sending love and blessings to my body, and I'm using the I am so happy and grateful. Powerful stuff. Appreciate that. Big difference. Step 4, we're going to activate this. There are 3 different ways that you can own this and activate it in your own life so you experience this abundance. The first way is to schedule time to do it every day, like doing your workouts. And I also put journaling here. Definitely get a hold of Kate's journal because that will help you track your activities, track your values, and how you're aligning and all the progress that you're making. Because it's really hard for you to see your progress if you don't track it. You are much more powerful than you realize. Own your power by writing it down. That's the first way that we can activate it. The second way is by creating a physical trigger, like crossing your fingers or tugging on your earlobe. So maybe when you want to do a behavior or you notice yourself speaking something into existence that is not what you want, I like the word uh-oh. When I start to go the wrong direction, I think, uh-oh. And that's a reminder for me to send love and blessings and then reframe what I'm thinking so that instead of going to what is not working, I can focus on what is working, and it shifts me in an instant. And you can have that too. Great. The third way that you can activate abundance is by declaring what you want. And it really helps if you've got an accountability buddy or a mentor or a coach that you're working with, where you're totally clear, this is where I'm going. I'm not there yet. This is where I'm going. And here are the behaviors that I want to embody. So anytime I'm not behaving this way, if I'm not sending love and blessings, if I'm making all these noises like I'm beating up on myself, please call me on it. Please, because that's not who I choose to be. And sometimes I forget and I fall back into old patterns. That's a really powerful way for you to activate abundance. Step 5, celebrate your progress. Isn't this an incredible journey that you're on? It's called the abundance journey for a reason, because every moment is unfolding for you with blessings. Every single opportunity is available to you in your life. It's a choice that you make to align with your values and show up as who you truly are, or fall back into old patterns that you know don't serve you. I know how powerful you are. I know what a blessing you are. And remember, you're not just doing this for you, because the way you feel and what you take on in your life ripples out to everyone around you. It's amazing how far it goes. Thank you so much for joining me today for the Abundance Journey. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Abundance Journey Show with Elaine Starling. Visit theabundancejourney.com/podcast gifts to access today's gift, as well as gifts from our other guests. Tune in every week to activate abundance in your life and business. If something resonated with you, please share it with your friends so they can benefit too. Keep activating abundance, and we'll see you in the next episode.